Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Bethany, and today's recipe, we're gonna be making filet of beef tenderloin with creamy horseradish sauce. This is such a showstopper of a main course for any holiday meal. It's very fancy and elegant, but it's way simpler to make than you would think. So let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing that I wanna go over before we get into cooking is the filet of beef tenderloin. So there's a few things to note. Number one, filet of beef is very pricey. This is a high price point. This is a 3-pound tenderloin and I got it at $125. What makes it worth it is how easy filet of beef tenderloin is to make. And this is where filet mignon is cut from. So it is extremely tender and delicious every time. This method that I'm gonna be using, you don't have to stress about overcooking it or undercooking it. It's just very simple and straightforward. So high price point, but easy to do, so it makes it so worth it. So I have my beef tenderloin tied and trimmed of fat. I had my butcher do that at the grocery store, and it just makes it a little bit easier because you don't have to do that yourself. The reason that we wanna tie this is because filet of beef tenderloin is a really elongated piece of meat. And on the end, there's some thinner pieces and they really need to be pulled into the meat and make an even cut so that everything cooks evenly. So that's why we have all the pieces tied. You can do that yourself. I've done that before with tenderloin, and you just use cooking string and really tie it tightly together. All right, so now let's get into our spread for the tenderloin. All right, so to season our beef tenderloin, we're gonna do 5 tablespoons of a really softened salted butter. It's important that it's really soft because then it won't spread onto the tenderloin. Then we have our 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of chopped rosemary, and then our 2 garlic cloves, finely minced. Another option in addition or instead of rosemary would be thyme. Then 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. We're using kosher sea salt. Okay, it's a big piece of meat, so you wanna season it well. And then we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. And now we'll just use a spoon to mix that together. All right, now we can get our tenderloin seasoned. So before we season it, we always want to pat our roast dry because the moisture will really prevent the butter from sticking. So I'm just going to use some paper towels. This is such an elegant and elevated dish, but it really is so simple to make. I will make this any day over a prime rib roast, which is what my mom always makes for Christmas, but now we always make beef tenderloin because it is just so easy and everybody is blown away by it. It's so good. All right, now I'm just gonna use my hands to take our butter and spread this all over. Yeah, thank you. I had to have Drew cut me some extra cooking twine because my end piece over here fell off. So with my very buttery fingers, we'll fix this. Okay, so now we're gonna get ready to put this in the oven. We have our oven set at the highest temperature, which is 500 degrees. And that's because we really want this to roast in a quicker time. So a lot of people say to clean your oven and it won't smoke. I have not found that to be the case because butter has a pretty low smoke point. So the oven always gets smoky for me. But it is important to make sure your oven is clean so that nothing's burning even more. So We're gonna roast this in the oven for 25 minutes. That's for medium rare. If you want more rare, you can roast it for about 3 minutes less, around 22 minutes. So we'll roast this for 25 minutes at 500 degrees. All right, so while the tenderloin is roasting in the oven, it's the perfect time to make our sauce, which is very simple, but it takes this tenderloin to the next level. So we will first add half a cup of sour cream. It's gonna kind of be the base of our sauce. It's a little bit more milder in flavor than mayonnaise, which we will use, but we're only gonna use a little bit. Then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of mayo. Mine is all the way on the bottom. I'm running out of mayo, so it's gonna be all over my hand. All right, next we're gonna do 1 teaspoon of a grainy mustard. It adds a nice little texture and bite to this sauce. Then we're also gonna do 1 teaspoon of regular Dijon mustard. Then next, we're gonna do horseradish. And I know horseradish might not be for everybody. If you don't like it, trust me, you will like this sauce. It is not super horseradishy. It's really mild in this. We're only using 2.5 teaspoons, which it's funny, when I make this for my parents, they're like, it needs more horseradish. They're just like obsessed with horseradish. Then we're gonna do a nice generous pinch of salt and of black pepper too. Okay, now we will mix that together. All right, so while the tenderloin is in the oven, we just wanna keep this in a cool place just because it has sour cream and mayo. So I'm gonna cover this and put it in our fridge and we'll use it later for serving. Okay, so we just took it out of the oven. Now we have to cover this. So that's another important step whenever you're doing a nice roast, is we want those juices to redistribute back into the tenderloin. So we're gonna cover this for about 20 to 30 minutes. And don't worry, it won't get cold. That's my biggest pet peeve with food. I need it to stay hot. So we'll keep it on the pan, cover it, let those juices redistribute back into it, and then we'll slice it and serve. Okay, so this has been resting for about 20, 25 minutes. Still very hot. And just gonna take the foil off. All right, so I snipped the string, so I could just easily take that off. Nobody wants to eat that. And just keep in mind that if you're about to cut into any type of roast, whether it's a chicken, a turkey, or a tenderloin, that you wanna make sure your guests are ready, because once you slice this, it starts turning cold. This is perfect. Look at that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect medium rare, not too pink, not too well done. Perfect. And when you're slicing into a tenderloin, you can do about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch in the cuts. It's filet mignon, so remember that. You don't want it to be super thin. All right, so we've had some juices come out, but not too much. There's always gonna be a little bit. Put that on our warm platter. And now we can taste this with our delicious, creamy horseradish sauce. All right, so I have my taste tester here. We're both very excited. So we're gonna get right into it. I only have one knife, but. No words. It's so good.
Wow.
The meat is so tender. The sauce is just, it's like peanut butter and jelly with this. It's the perfect pair.
That's the best one you've ever made, hands down.
Wow.
That sauce, I don't even know how to describe it.
It's so good.
It's that good, seriously.
I'm very hungry, so I'm just gonna eat this while you,
Probably should have had lunch.
Yeah, this is my lunch.
Oh, okay. That's insanely good. Wow. I think the meat is super tender. The sauce has that perfect tang that pairs perfectly with the rest of the meat flavors. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't taste like horseradish, really.
Yeah. So you could put more if you like horseradish.
Perfectly balanced.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, love
it's amazing. Your guests will be blown away. And we're actually filming this so that my family can join us right after we're done, because we can't let this amazing tenderloin go to waste.
Seriously.
Go to waste.
Yeah,
So.
we're not gonna eat that all ourselves.
No,
So
no.
we need to share it.
Yeah, and like we're very intentional when we make food. People have asked me in person that know me, they're like, do you eat the food that you make? Yeah. Like, yeah, especially when I buy a really expensive tenderloin. When I tested this recipe last week, whenever I'm making recipes for videos, I like to make them just to make sure that they're fresh in my mind. So I made it last week, and of course invited my parents and family over to enjoy it as well. Yeah.
The whole crew.
Yes, we always enjoy the recipes that we're making for videos. So
makes it worth it.
yeah, we have it off to the side, keeping warm for everyone. And yeah, but for the holidays, if you want to serve this for Christmas, we've also served this for Easter. It's that good. We like can't wait until Christmas just to have this once a year. We'll also serve this with our cheesy scalloped potatoes, which we will be serving with it today. And that makes for the perfect pair. I told my dad we were having tenderloin today, and he's like, is it with scalloped potatoes? So,
oh my gosh.
it's seriously so good with that, and really any side dish, but I wouldn't say mashed potatoes. I think that the scalloped potatoes win out every time with serving on the side of this. So, if you guys have not yet chosen your main course for Christmas, I'm here to convince you that tenderloin should be your top choice, top of the list.
Agreed.
It's that good. So we'll be enjoying this for Christmas. We're gonna have it again, week and a half. That's 3 times in like 2 weeks, which we're not complaining.
Yeah, seriously.
So yeah. Well, if you guys try this, feel free to let me know in the comments. And also, you can leave a review on our website. And as always, we'll catch you in the next recipe. And we won't see you until after Christmas. So from our family to yours, Merry Christmas. Max! Give me my cloak. Can I borrow your finger for a second?